Thank you very much, fellow Africans, and once again, welcome to today's episode of the Change for African campaign. Being on Thursday, we welcome our 54th episode of the Change for African campaign, and it's on Thursday, as usual, about our fourth pillar about the living standards of people in Africa. So, therefore, fellow Africans, this afternoon, to help us go through our episode, this today will be the UNSDG goal number 8 about the decent work and economic growth. In full, it's aimed at promoting sustainable, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. Decent work and economic growth. So that is the goal. It's all about decent work and economic growth, because after we have worked, that is when there is the growth of the economy, or after people have been employed. When we have work, it means then people are employed, and then that is when our economy grows in one way or the other. So some of the very key targets of this goal: we have sustainable economic growth, we have increased productivity, we have promotion of job creation, promote job creation, and we have reduced youth unemployment, and there are so many targets that this goal is targeting to achieve. And so this one, it is in the context of Africa now. Remember, these are United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, but we discuss this in the context, or we bring this in the context of Africa, because we are Africans and Africa is our business, so we discuss Africa. And so, fellow Africans, going through this, I'll be very brief, but going through this goal, we realize one thing, that most of these goals is all about what we call sustainability, that there must be what we call sustainability, that once we have decent work, this is a type of work or jobs whereby when young people or other people working, as long as the huge population is employed, the work they are doing, it is sustainable in terms of environmental friendly, it is profitable, it is fair enough for these people, but it's not like the work that our people are doing should not appear like slavery, but they should have fair jobs, they should have decent works, the working environment should be very decent. So it is a thing that about living standards, we are connecting this to living standards, meaning that the environments in which people are working, the environments in which people are operating, these environments are the places to be able to make us say, yes, this is a decent environment. And so therefore the living standards of these people, it is good, because the environment will determine, and living standards are attributed in different ways, so you can define this in different ways. It starts from all the way from, well, we have decent work, then after decent work, after people have worked, people are paid, that is employment. And then being employed, it means that people now will be able to fully depend on themselves, cater for their food, for their bills and everything, and cater for their needs, and even for the others. So that is what we speak about living standards, because remember, some of the very things that are affecting or are related to living standards is about income, and many people maybe do not have income, and when there is no income, then it means people are not able to foot a lot of things or a lot of bills, speaking about daily meals, speaking about just access to basic commodities, it becomes a very huge, it becomes difficult. So it is not easy once that state is in place. So it means we need to have income, and income comes from people having work, and not just work but decent work. That is why we have that goal number 8 of the United Nations among among the 17 goals of the UNSDG. And remember, after all this is now when the economy grows, economic growth, decent work, good environments, sustainable work that for everybody, income is achieved, and then that is when this income contributes to the development of economy in Africa. So it is a very critical goal of the United Nations, that in the current state of Africa, still there is a lot of very low percentages in terms of progress. How the progress is according to that goal: unemployment, youth unemployment, and all these things. Economic growth, it's growing at a very in some areas at a very lower pace, meaning that still, because once the economy is not growing, then it shows that the people are not having decent work, or people are not actually even being employed, or many of these people are not employed. So it is still a question of it is still a matter of us trying to see how we can create decent works. And so works come from very many things. Speaking about employment opportunities, we need to have industries, and when we speak about industries, we need also to have what we call, these industries should be environment friendly. That is when the question of, or the attribute of sustainability comes in, that even if you have industries for people to work in, or for people to get decent work, the environment should be good. Environment include that the industry should not be part of emission or emitting of the greenhouse gases that contribute to global warming. So we realize that in all these goals, there's one thing that stands out, all about sustainability, that even if we have decent work, it should be sustainable for us to be able to have an economic growth. And all this speaks about what kind of work are people doing in Africa. So fellow Africans, it's all about living standards. It's a very serious thing about living standard, that we have to see some of the ways in which it is a question, or it is an issue that should be articulated to as we progress into the future, because we are speaking about people being able to food for their own things and be self-dependent to be able to carry out their normal operations. So thank you, and have an interesting afternoon. Let's meet tomorrow. It's on Friday, as we discuss about our 5th pillar of the Change for African campaign, about the climate change that we face in Africa. Thank you, and have an interesting afternoon.